A viral clip from 2022 is resurfacing at the absolute worst moment for the Beckham family. And this time, it's not a statement or an interview. It's body language. As Brooklyn Beckham publicly cuts ties with his parents, fans are digging into old footage and asking a question no one was asking back then. Was Victoria Beckham ever the real problem? Or did we read the situation wrong? Because this feud is no longer happening behind closed doors. It's being replayed, paused, and scrutinized frame by frame online. And every silent moment is now being treated as evidence. This clip wouldn't mean much on its own if it hadn't resurfaced right after Brooklyn Beckham dropped his volatile 6-page statement. In that statement, Brooklyn didn't spread the blame evenly. He aimed most of his anger directly at his mother Victoria, accusing her of humiliating him, exceeding boundaries, and trying to interfere in his marriage. David Beckham is mentioned, but the emotional weight lands squarely on Victoria. And that timing matters. Because just days after Brooklyn publicly declared he has no interest in unification with his family, this old Paris Fashion Week moment suddenly reappears on TikTok, and now people aren't watching it casually. They're watching it through the lens of betrayal. Moments that once felt awkward now look deliberate. Silences feel loaded. Body language is being treated like testimony. And fans are no longer asking what happened. They're asking who was wrong all along. The moment everyone is dissecting comes from October 2022. During Paris Fashion Week, long before statements, accusations, or public ultimatums. In the clip, Nicola Peltz is seen deep in conversation with a blonde woman at an event. Her body is fully turned away from Victoria Beckham, her back facing both Victoria and Brooklyn, while Harper stands silently nearby. There's no clash, no raised voices, just an unmistakable sense of separation. Victoria, meanwhile, appears to hover behind Nicola, lingering awkwardly at the edge of the interaction. She shifts her weight, waits for eye contact that never quite comes, and seems unsure whether to step in or step back. It's delicate, but that's exactly why people are obsessed with it. On TikTok, fans argue the power dynamic isn't where they assumed it was. Instead of Victoria ruling the moment, she looks sidelined, excluded, almost hesitant. The framing flips the narrative. If Nicola controls the space and the conversation, then Victoria isn't the aggressor here. She's the outsider. And that's why this clip has gone viral now. Because without a single word spoken, it sparked louder opinions than any interview ever could. As soon as the clip spread, the internet did what it always does. It split into sides. In the comments, critics of Nicola were quick to jump in. They argued it wasn't about the conversation itself, but about basic etiquette. Turning your back, not acknowledging someone standing inches away, not offering a brief hello, to them, it felt thoughtful. Cold. A quiet snub disguised as politeness. But just as loud was the pushback. Defenders insisted there was nothing rude happening at all. Nicola was already engaged in a conversation, and people don't owe constant awareness to everyone in the room. To them, the outrage said more about projection than behavior. And this is where a familiar pattern re-emerges. Nicola is repeatedly cast as dismissive or controlling, while others see her as misunderstood and unfairly inspected. Victoria, depending on who's watching, is either the overbearing mother-in-law or the awkward woman being iced out. What's clear is that fandom doesn't judge moments in isolation. It chooses sides first, then uses clips like this to justify what it already believes. But this debate is still surface level, because the next accusation changes everything. The conversation stops being speculative the moment Brooklyn Beckham puts his name to a 6-page statement and makes it public. In that statement, Brooklyn accuses his mother of doing something he says he will never forgive, hijacking his first dance at his own wedding. He claims Victoria stepped in before Nicola, danced with him in a way he describes as inappropriate, and left him feeling humiliated and deeply uncomfortable in front of everyone who mattered to him. But the accusation doesn't stop at one moment on the dance floor. Brooklyn goes further, claiming his parents repeatedly tried to undermine his relationship, questioning his choices and interfering in his marriage rather than supporting it. To him, the wedding wasn't just supposed to be a celebration. It was the final proof that his boundaries were being ignored. What makes this hit harder is who Brooklyn used to be. For years, he openly called himself a mama's boy. His bond with Victoria was public, affectionate, and constant. That's why this statement lands like a break, not a disagreement. It's a son rewriting his entire family history in real time. And once those words are out there, everything changes. Every awkward clip, every old interaction, every uncomfortable pause is suddenly viewed through a new lens, not as an accident, but as evidence. This is the moment where a private criticism becomes permanent public record. If you want clear, no-nonsense breakdowns of celebrity feuds as they unfold, subscribe now. For days, Brooklyn's claims were treated like just that. Claims. Emotional, personal, and impossible to verify. Until someone who was actually in the room decided to speak. DJ Fat Tony, who performed at Brooklyn and Nicola's wedding in April 2022, became the first eyewitness to publicly confirm what really happened that night. And his account doesn't deny Brooklyn's feelings. It explains them. According to Tony, the issue was never the dance itself. There was no disgraceful choreography, no shock factor. What crossed the line was the timing. During the reception, Mark Anthony was performing live and called Brooklyn onto the stage. Guests naturally assumed Nicola would be next, the moment everyone was waiting for. Instead, Mark Anthony invited Victoria onto the stage first. That decision, Tony says, changed the entire energy in the room. Nicola, expecting her first dance with her husband, was left watching as the moment passed her by. Overwhelmed, she left the room in tears while Brooklyn remained on stage, unable to step away, unable to fix it, and visibly upset. Tony describes the moment as deeply awkward, not just for the couple, but for everyone watching. And when Mark Anthony instructed Brooklyn to place his hands on his mother's hips as part of the Latin dance, it only deepened the discomfort. What matters most is that Tony makes one thing clear. This wasn't about how outsiders understood the moment. It was about how Brooklyn experienced it. That version is further backed by Tony's partner, who publicly supported Brooklyn's account, saying plainly that he was telling the truth about how the situation unfolded. This wasn't gossip. It was witnessed. In the days that followed the statement, the contrast couldn't have been sharper. While headlines exploded across the globe, Brooklyn and Nicola were photographed in Malibu, smiling, relaxed, and visibly united. Walking their dog along the beach, arms wrapped around each other, they looked unbothered by the storm they had just triggered. Whatever was happening behind the scenes, their public message was clear. They are choosing each other, without hesitation. That image sits uncomfortably alongside the accusations Brooklyn just made. Public affection on one side, deeply private complaints on the other. Love on display. Family ties severed in writing. Across the Atlantic, the Beckham family carried on separately. Romeo appeared in Paris with his girlfriend for Fashion Week. Cruz focused on promoting his music, celebrating sold-out shows. David Beckham continued his public commitments abroad, speaking about youth and responsibility, carefully avoiding the topic of his eldest son. And Victoria remained absent from public view, communicating only through work and controlled social media posts. The physical distance mirrors the emotional one. Different continents. Different priorities. Different narratives being lived at the same time. This isn't just a family drifting apart. It's two worlds moving forward without each other, in full view of the public. At this point, the story is no longer being shaped by private conversations. It's being shaped by viral clips, public statements, and memes that travel faster than any family reunion ever could. Old footage is now treated like evidence. Emotional statements are dissected line by line. Even silence becomes a message. In the absence of dialogue, the internet fills in the gaps and decides who looks powerful, who looks wronged, and who gets the last word.